Hello there and welcome back. My name is still Elena.
And my name is still Fotios. And this is still the Game Court.
And yet again, another day has passed, another game of the month has come.
And for this month, we have selected for you Phoenix New Horizon, which is a new game that we got at Essen this year. Yes, it's designed by Jorge Barroso and published by Perro Loko Games.
Normally, at this point, I would tell you what BGG tells you about the game.
So what the BGG tells you?
Let me finish my sentence, will you?
So,
At this point, I would tell you what BGG tells you about the game, but because the game is so incredibly fresh, super new, extra duper, there's not very much in there. So BGG only says a new dawn of humanity. That's it.
yeah, I guess you resurface the ground with your people and you try to rebuild stuff, you try to rebuild some generators and some buildings. And yeah, more or less that's it, right?
That's, kind of, that's technically what happens. Yeah. I mean, they could have put a bit of effort in that, but hey,
of the theme, I mean, yeah.
Not in the theme, in the description.
In description and BGG, I see.
I think the theme is alright.
So the game itself is worker placement, right? So you have three chunky workers, one of them chunkier than the other two. That's your leader. And what you do, you occupy worker placement positions to do particular actions. And you have some basic actions, which are build regenerators, which provide energy. And then next to regenerator, you can build buildings of three different types. It could be domestic buildings or plant buildings or military buildings. And then you can also go up to the population track as a different action, or you can even go up to your personal cog tracks.
Now the reason why this game is the game of the month this month is because the designer has tried to do something different with the work placement aspect, which, to be perfectly honest, it happens in many games. Like, people try to re-implement things that they're already very well established. So what they try to do in this game is your action selection space, it's a board by itself, and you have two kind of I call them tracks. I don't even know how to call them otherwise. It's more like tracks, isn't it?
Paths? Because at some point they bifurcate and stuff. I don't know.
So you have a basic action at the bottom, and they bifurcate onto different branches.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yes.
It branches up into two different areas, and each area does a different, focuses more towards one action or a set of actions, and there's no way to move from one side to another, so you have to choose wisely where you go. And whenever you go up that branch, you kind of promote your person, so you spend energy, which in this game is currency, is the only currency that the game actually offers. So you can spend the energy and promote your worker to a different space, a different level, out of how many levels?
It's 4 levels total. The basic level plus 3 promotions.
The idea is the more you go up, the better the actions,
exactly.
Or the more different the actions are. Some of the actions don't actually exist at the bottom, towards the bottom, so you need to go at the top. Now, if you go with your normal worker, you have two options of either resting for the round, for the turn itself, passing and then getting another turn after everybody has played, or you can pay some extra energy and do the action directly. Whereas if you'd go with your boss is the big boss,
yes.
The super one would get you directly into the action without paying the extra energy, so you can do the action directly.
So this promotion or upgrade mechanic of your workers is quite cool, because at the end of each round, when you're going to rest your workers, you're not going to reset them at level 1, but you're going to put them in the rest areas of the level that have been activated. So if you took an action at level 2, he will go to the rest area of level 2, and later on you can continue upgrading them from that point onwards to actually reach level 4, do even more powerful actions. One type of actions that levels 2, 3 and 4 offer you that level 1 doesn't is they offer you access to these different cassettes that you plug under your player board, and they offer you ongoing benefits or one-off benefits or end of game points. This is quite good because it's first come first served, and as you take this and you plug it under, you take a benefit right now, also where you plug it, which is very juicy, very powerful. And you know, there are other actions that are offered in higher levels of the branches.
Now, actually, it was a lie what you said before, because you said there are only 3 people that you get.
Hey, you you place 3 people, right? That's still correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you still. I think the designers given the game a myriad of little people.
And the smallies.
You have
Yes.
the little,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
super little people, and you can use them. You start with one onto your population track, but the game offers you the opportunity to, as you unlock new little people, super extra little people, you can place them back onto the population track, so you can have more than one person going up. At the end of these tracks, you have like end of game scoring, so you can place them in those spaces. First come, first serve, better points.
Yes,
stuff
correct.
like that. Or you can use them to send them to the myriad of places where you can get end of game scoring, and there are many of them on. Or you can use them to send them to the top of the action tracks, and right at the top,
The toppest level.
the super duper extra toppest of the top, you can place them into strategically in one of the places, and as soon as you get with your most upgraded person at the top, then you can place this person onto the little cassettes for scoring purposes later. Did I say that these people, as soon as you get to the top of the track with your bestest person, the most upgraded person, they go back to the bottom of the track.
So you can use them again the same round,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
Is that amazing, isn't it? I like that.
And the reason you're doing all of this is because you want to build buildings which are powered by the regenerators, and you want to have different types of buildings built in different areas of the map, and be next to different types of generators, because you have copper generators and silver generators and gold generators, and you try to do all of these matches because you want to fulfill different types of contracts. Like for instance, you want to have in the red region, you want to have 2 buildings that are plant or domestic, and they are powered by a copper generator, and so on and so forth, and you get these juicy benefits if you manage to do so. And fulfilling these contracts is actually a free action.
Nice. Very nice. Talking about the regenerators and how they actually look, they come in different sizes. They're all the same shape. The golden one is the biggest generator out of them all. But the buildings themselves, they look exactly the same. They're the same discs. So they're not actually, they don't have an attribute per se.
Yeah.
They will only become a building when you build them under a generator that has this kind of attribute. And I think one of the things that we actually didn't mention so far is that there is a track for each attribute on the board.
Oh yes, the small banner tracks.
Yeah, the banner track. And you can increase it, well, obviously as you unlock it throughout the game, sometimes from the contract, you can increase these banners to actually give you a better multiplication at the end of the game.
Yeah, these are the actions that do not appear at the base at the level 1, but in higher levels. Yeah, you can, if you're invested, let's say, in military buildings, you can increase your point multiplier for this type of buildings. Very correct.
I know.
I agree, I completely agree.
Thank
yes.
you.
Spot on. A couple of more other things that happen in the game. There is a bit of interaction between players. If I build a building next to Elena's regenerator, she will get a benefit for that. And also if Elena builds 2 regenerators in adjacent regions, she will get, and if she's the first to do so, she will get a nice benefit from the in-between regions duct tape.
They
Because,
put duct tape in the
exactly.
middle. I really like that.
And then you flip the duct tape, and the next person who is going to do so in these 2 regions, they will get a lesser benefit.
Nonetheless, a benefit.
A benefit, yes, exactly. So there are cool aspects of the game around this, which is good. There's also the public contracts. First come, first served.
Yeah, where you send all your super little people, the smallest ones.
Exactly.
Now, theme and art. I'm not entirely sure about the theme. I think it's an alright theme.
Yeah.
It's kind of a made up, kind of steampunk version of the planet has gone to the bin.
A bit of Mad Maxi, right?
Yeah. It's kind of that kind of sci-fi kind of theme, which I don't necessarily mind, but I'm not super desperate for it. It's alright. I like the color palette very much.
It's amazing.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Plus, come on then.
Can I show it?
Yes.
I'll show it. The art overall is quite funky, but in a nice way funky. But this inside of the top lid, look at that. Look at that. How amazing
I like
it
that
is.
so much. And the game kind of has this like theme and the little details kind of throughout the whole game, which I think I like very much. I like that they've put the effort into designing these things rather than slap something on quickly just for the sake of bringing the game to Essen. And I think they even, when we bought the game, they were like super careful. I think somebody must have run out of a piece or 2.
Yeah.
They kept on telling people, well, count your pieces before you go.
Before you go back home.
Yeah. And then
So come back to us if you have any problems, yes.
Isn't that amazing? So
very
they were
good.
like super attentive to details and I was really impressed with them.
I will also say that I really like the wooden pieces in the game. They are also very nicely silk printed both sides, and they follow the art of the game board, which is fantastic.
Both sides.
Both sides, exactly. So I really like these kind of aspects as well a lot.
Yeah, overall quite impressed with Perro Loko.
Yes. Now rulebook wise, it's alright. It's not impressive, the rulebook. It's a bit I don't know, weird in places. It has a lot of headings and a lot of numberings, if you like this kind of structure. Anyway, but I mean, it's readable, but it's not the best of the rule books I have ever read. It doesn't come with any player aids, neither even an iconography guide, and that is, I think, a bit of a downside. I think I would appreciate a small player aid, because there are a few icons in the game which make sense after a while. You know, it's not something super duper wow, but a small iconography guide would be nice to have. Lengthwise, the game says 60 to 120 minutes, and I think that's actually...
It's true,
It's true,
it?
it's
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
It plays pretty fast.
Yeah,
I think.
We played mostly at 3 players. We have played at 2 as well, but I think for 3 players, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not the
not bad
longest
at
of the
all.
games.
I mean, you only have 3 workers to play. That is it.
3 workers, 4 rounds, so basically do 12
actions,
12
yeah.
actions, yeah, that's it.
Yays and nays.
Yes and nays.
You start this time.
I will try this time. Right. My first yay, I will not go to the obvious one of branching and upgrading workers. We have already discussed about that. This is an obvious yay. You can take it if you want to. I will be very happy with that. But my yay is how your player board works. That is, if you build regenerators out, you increase your energy track on your personal board. And by doing so, you get access to more and more buildings and more generators, because to begin the game, you don't have access to your gold, to your biggies, generators. But also this increase there will determine how much income of fuel you're going to get from round to round, also in conjunction to one of your cog tracks. So everything there in your player board interacts and matters in a way that reminds me sort of Pampero, but it's not as complicated as Pampero was. It's quite simple to understand, but I really like that there are some constraints implemented in your player board.
Nice. Very nice. My yay is actually replayability, because I think this game offers you a million things to actually do in. I feel the game is super sandboxy, and you have to have a mind to play a game that's very sandboxy, because it gives you so many different options. You have to think exactly what you want to do and stick to that. Otherwise, it's just going to go into a mush. And I could see how different players will play it differently, because it offers you so many different options. I like that.
I see where you go. Well, my next yay, because you didn't take it, is how the worker placement works in this game. The way you upgrade your workers and you have access to more powerful actions. I think this sideboard of worker placement, I think, is what makes this game actually unique.
I like that they placed the actions separate from the main board.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know why I like it, but I think I like it very much.
And if I'm to also piggyback on your replayability aspect of the game, this sideboard of worker placement, the actions are changing from game to game. The level 1 is the same static, but level 2, level 3, level 4, you just take stuff around and move them around, so the branching is always different from game to game.
Correct.
And also these cassettes you plug in under your board, they're also different, so yes, the variability aspect is there as well. Yes,
You cannot take my yay and make it your yay, you know?
I didn't.
I mentioned first.
Anyway.
My next yay is I really like how they paid attention to details, like the inside of the box, the back of the boards, and all the little details throughout the game. They're like the little cassettes where you like put them in and stuff like that. They look like little like floppy disks, or not floppy disks, like cassettes.
Yeah.
Cassettes that go
Game
in.
Boy cassettes.
Yeah. I really like this. I think they've put a lot of effort in that, and I really appreciate that.
And I will expand on that, if that's right.
No.
With my next yay.
You cannot have my yay into your yay.
Because nowadays board games tend to be extremely expensive, and this is still, you know, an expensive board game. I mean, expensive. I think the price for this was about 50 euros, I want to say. But, you know, it doesn't come with dual layer boards, but it comes with boards that have, they have gaps. So like White Castle kind of. Like you place your things there and don't shuffle
They don't
around.
move around,
Don't
yeah.
move around. Which is a very nice touch. You can make this in a very, let's say, inexpensive way if you are a publisher, if you are a game producer, but still have this deluxified
Exactly,
element.
yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't take away from the feeling of the game. Nice?
Nice, yes. You can go?
I
Or
can
you
go.
You go first.
I found the contract a bit too simple to fulfill. Like, you only have to have presence in like this region and presence in this region kind of thing. And that was a contract, that's it. And I found them a little bit, I think they could have put a bit more effort into the contract. Whether they needed to like split them in different contracts in different regions, I'm not sure. I'm not a designer. But I feel that they could have done something a bit more inventive about the contracts themselves. You just end up taking 5 contracts out of, from which 2 of them you can already fulfill because you already have presence in a couple of regions. I find that a bit meh.
Yes, I would say that this is also one of my nays in the sense that, you know, what you
This
do...
is the 3rd time in a row.
I know, right?
Honestly.
What you do in the game is exactly that. You try to fulfill contracts, and as you say, not in the most innovative way. You try to do basically the same thing over and over, and okay, you get benefits here and there which may differ, but overall, I think the strategy that you do every game, I would say, is the same. And this is where I differ from your opinion when it comes to, you say it's sandboxy in your mind. I don't feel that way for this game, to be honest with you.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think that way, to be honest. But again, if you have your opinion,
Everybody
have
has an
mine.
opinion,
Exactly. But this is also my nay, so the contracts could be somehow different. Again, they play with the regions, they play with the type of generators, the type with the buildings.
It's kind of it.
Exactly. Alrighty, let's go to game recommendations.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first this time. So my game recommendation here is Newton, and that is because this game reminds me a lot of Newton when it comes to the population track. Here is very similar to how the tech tree is working in Newton. You have different branches going left and right. At the end of the tracks you have scoring conditions that you can only activate if you reach with your worker there. You have assistants in Newtons, you have small meeples here with nice little glasses, round glasses, but the way it works for me, it's more or less the same. And also you have some tokens that, you know, if you're the first person to reach that space, you get a token. Again, both games have the same element. So yeah, I would say Newton. Otherwise, the games are not similar. Newton is not replacement in any sense, but yeah, that's my game recommendation. A game that Elena adores to bits.
Is that why you say you mentioned Newton because you know I dislike it?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to do?
I don't like Newton at all.
I think if I mention it enough times, you will play with me.
How long has it been since we've not played Newton?
I know.
Yes,
I'm
now.
not selling Newton, it's fine.
Anyhow, my game recommendation is Arborea by Dani Garcia. And Arborea, it reminds me of it because Arborea I'm just kind of looking at it now. It has these tracks that you could go up to, and if you're patient enough, your workers kind of age, so they get to the better part of the actions or the most bountiful part of the action. So that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's kind of the same worker placement aspect from one perspective or another. But yeah, similar nonetheless.
And if I may say, they also have this branching element.
Correct, and you choose where you go as well.
As you jump off and you go, that's very nice. Very nice, yes, I like it.
Thank you very much. Very good idea, isn't it?
Very good idea.
Okie dokie. That was it for today.
This was our review of our Game of the Month, Phoenix New Horizon.
I hope you enjoyed it.
And thank you so much for watching.
See you later.
Bye.